the morning. This one is a lot more spontaneous than the first. Azra didn't really get that go that far, get my words out this morning on the first little live we did, which was around Royston. If you haven't seen it, catch up with it after you've seen this one. But we're going to do a new walk this morning that you've not been on. Come on. Which I won't spoil it for you, but the first bit you will recognise. Maybe not this bit unless you've seen some of the vlogs, because I've usually cut off by now. But when we get to the bottom here on the high road, we're going to cut up the moor, which takes us past Azra's horsey friends. But it's after that, I think, that you may not recognise where we are. Go on, Azra. Lots of things to sniff this morning, apparently, along here. So, I suppose my normal question of the day is, how's everyone doing? Feel free to leave any comments in the live chat. We do this most mornings, Azra and me. During the week, it's more of a set walk that we do. Come on. At the weekends, we sort of try and mix it up a little bit. And hence, if you'd have just seen the Royston one, you would have seen that. Right, let's cross over. Squirrel going across the road over there. So yeah, we will be heading up towards Azra's horsey friends, and then we'll be going across the field that you may have seen me do last weekend perhaps, and then from there you won't have seen it. We're going to go across the railway lines into Meldreth and then back round into Melbourne on the new train and cycle path. This walk, I will warn you guys, is going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, so just prepare yourselves. I already have. Go on. So again, like I was saying in the Royston live about half hour ago, paths are quite narrow, sort of in the local area, or certainly in certain areas anyway. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. And you're sort of right on top of the road, as you can see. They have reduced the speed limit recently. Whether you agree with it or whether you don't is neither here nor there. I don't think a lot of people actually do keep to it, if I'm honest. But I suppose it's designed to try and slow the traffic flow down for things like what I was just mentioning. But yeah, it was whether you agree with it or whether you don't, I suppose. And then I heard they can't actually enforce the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit as such. Whether that's correct or not, I don't know. But yeah, that is another moan. Right, so we are now heading down the moor. Now, as I said, the first little bit you will all know if you have joined the channel before. If you haven't, do like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any comments. We will come to Azra's horsey friends probably in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes, and then we cross over the A10, go out towards the train lines over them, or should I say under them, and then we'll be in Meldreth, back round along the new train path which brings us back into Melbourne. So, as I say, 45 minutes to an hour we're going to be out this morning. If you are new to the channel, welcome, like and subscribe, does mean a lot to the channel. Azra leading the way, she's the star of the show, I just narrate. But we did a live in Royston, as I've said, about half hour or so ago, but it wasn't very far the walk, so I just decided I would do another new walk for you guys. You see more of the sort of local area. I'm sure most of what is along here I've covered before, but I'll give a couple of mentions as we sort of go past them, if there's anything of interest. But I can talk about what we did yesterday, because it was a busy old day yesterday and it was hot. And what I will say before I carry on is that it is a lot cooler this morning. I don't think it's supposed to last, but it is a lot cooler than this morning. So we'll enjoy it whilst it lasts. So, coming up on the left-hand side here is MVC, the senior school. And then on the right, just at the end of this wooden fence, is where James has been playing football for the last few seasons. They go onto the bigger pitches, as there'll be under 15s next season. So it'll be in a totally different place. I say totally different place, still in the village, but in a different area, not too far from here. Lord knows what these football pitches are going to be like for the start of the season, with the amount of the weather we've been having. Would suggest they're going to be like tennis courts. But one shouldn't moan about the weather, because as Brits, we're never happy with the weather, are we? We've always got something to talk about with it. So, yeah, not much to see there with the goals down there, or the bunnies over there. You've seen all this before, guys, if you've been with me before. Do like and subscribe if you haven't. It does mean a lot to the channel. So, a little bit further up, where you can see perhaps that lighter green bush on the left-hand side, just beyond it is Melbourne Bowls Club. And then beyond that, there is a park that has recently been redone, which looks pretty good. James is a bit too old now, all the bunnies in the field over there. Yeah, James is a bit too old for those now, perhaps, although he did go out with some friends around the village on Friday, and I think they were down here, and I think they were at another one of the parks, but yeah, it's not the sort of thing that we would necessarily, as a family, sort of come out and do now, not like it was back in the day, to be honest. So we are more than halfway up the moor, I would say now. Again, if you've been an avid follower, you will stand path, good girl. You will know where we are, because this is the normal walk we do. It's when we get to the end that it will start to become the new walk, as stated in the thumbnail. There's the new park. And we will shortly be getting to, as I say, Azra's horsey friends. Whether they'll be close today to the fence, who knows? It is early, so they might be. I think they probably back off a bit when people start going by and cars start going by, that sort of thing. So we'll see. And we'll know in the next 2 minutes, I reckon. But it is very much nicer this morning from the point of view of not as hot. So just talking about yesterday, so we did the Friends experience in London. The vlog has gone live yesterday. We did a live Green Park, Buckingham Palace, the Mall and Trafalgar Square before we went to the Friends experience. All that is on the channel, all of it is live, so please feel free to have a watch, as it is pretty good. The horses are not going to be close this morning. I can see exactly where they are already. I'll show you in a minute when we get to the clearing. Which is a shame, but Azra will still see them. Come on, Azra. Just here. All three in a line, but Azra will see them in a minute. She always wants to have a quick look. You see them? See them? Look. There you are, there they all are. Having a look. Oh, not that interested this morning, okay. Come on in. Come on in. Right. So we will continue on. So the next local landmark we get to is the allotments. That really annoys me. Gives dog walkers, good dog walkers, a really bad name. So frustrating. Right. So on the right hand side here, already you can see over the bush is the local allotments. If you were with us a couple of Fridays ago, Julia did give her fruit and veg walkthrough of her allotment. Not that I was that interested, but it was on there. I always say we're a bit of an everything channel. The gardening channel is not one of them. Although people might want a gardening channel. And then Julia can take my phone and you can watch her for an hour gardening at the allotment. Sounds very unstimulating to me. Although what I will say, I did fly my drone. We did come up here last night to water and a couple of other bits and pieces, and I did bring my drone up here because there's not a lot around here from the point of view of obstacles. So it is quite nice and clear, sort of fly the drone. So I do quite enjoy coming up here to do that. So I take it back that I don't like coming up here, but I always seem to hurt myself whenever I come up here, whether it's get stung or something catches me. I think the allotment doesn't like me, and I think it knows I don't like it. So yeah, the feeling's mutual from that point of view. But yeah, it is quite good to fly the drone. So this is the first little dodgy bit. We're going to be coming up to the A10 now. What is it? 6:15 in the morning. So it ain't going to be that busy, guys. But obviously, you still got to have your wits about you. £10 points for Azra for the jump. Go on, keep going. Right, we'll just get you on a shorter lead. So it sounds really quiet, unless you've got an electric car coming. It sounds really quiet. Towards Cambridge that way, back down towards Royston and London, way beyond that. Okay, I was saying this was getting quite overgrown down here. I want to say it looks like someone might have... No, I don't think so. I want to say someone might have trimmed it back, but I don't think they have. I think just by people walking down here, it sort of brushes it back. Right, straight on, Azra, come on. And this definitely isn't. So this is a farmer's field, but these paths he's obviously allowed to be created over the time. I know the school kids, they sometimes come this way, which would worry me if my child had to cross that A10, but there is another way, the way we've been before on the lives, which is sort of, as we cross this bridge, down there and then back round. You go underneath the A10, which is obviously far more sensible. But Azra's just leading on. She hasn't waited to be told. This is where we're going, through the cornfield. Always reminds me of a Twister movie, this. Well, hopefully we won't get any tornadoes today. There's no forecast anyway. Come on. And you might be able to see already, not sure how well it's coming out on the camera, we'll probably do it nearer, but in front, you can just see those houses in the clearing. Just in front of those, there's a wooden fence. Now that is the train lines. Now, again, it's one of those, it's a fast bit of track here. And the reason I say that is because there are usually up to 4 trains into London, certainly during the week. 2 are fast, 2 are slow. When I say 2 are slow, they stop at all the sort of smaller stations. So this potentially is a fast bit of track, and I just don't like the thought of kids crossing it. I know you can only do so much to look after your child and all that sort of stuff, but it's just, yeah, it doesn't sit well with me, all this. And there's no control. You know, God forbid you get your foot stuck or trip over or whatever. Yeah, it is a real worry. Now, because there's a stile, I can't take Azra over anyway. So we're going to go under the bridge, which you will see in about a minute or two. But yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because beyond this is obviously Meldrift, and unless, well, you can use the new path, of course, which you haven't got to negotiate any traffic or anything, and you go over the railway line on a purpose-built bridge. But if you live up this end of the village, this is the only way to cut across to Melbourne without having to come all the way up to the other end of the village. So I sort of understand why people do it, but it's a hell of a risk. It really is. And I'm fairly sure, without seeing the statistics, that there's probably been a few near misses here. So we're coming to the end of the cornfield here. Just stay out of the long grass. We've gone from Twister to Jurassic Park. Right, come on, Azra, let's go. There is a little bit of drizzle. I'm fairly sure it's not sweat, although I am flipping hot. Now over there is the direction where the sun comes up from, and as you can see, big difference this morning with the climate. But I think in no time at all the sun will start to burn off what's going on with the cloud cover, and we'll be back to the same heat as yesterday. It is supposed to be a bit cooler today. Right, so Azra knows anyway, but that is the style, so you never get Azra over it anyway. But this bridge down here is a very low bridge. Mind your head. And out the other side. And up there is the way. So there's not a stile this side. So if you are taking your dog across there, you get to the other side and it's a real nuisance getting across, especially a dog of her size. So yeah, it's one of them. Right, come on, good girl. So we are now on the new section of the walk. So if anyone new is joining up, please feel free to like and subscribe. It is very early for a Sunday morning, but last weekend we had 1.8 thousand views on my morning vlog. Right, wait. Come on, come on. Come on. I don't know where the owner is. Oh, down there. That really annoys me. He didn't even know where his dog was. Completely off the lead. Ridiculous. But I can't even be bothered to speak about it. But if I'd have had Ralph with me, that would have been horrendous. I know it's early, but people should always expect the unexpected. Come on. And also, all right, that dog was okay, friendly, but you just don't know, and that was my concern as to whether the dog was going to be all right. You don't know, you don't know how dogs are, especially when you don't know them. So yeah, anyway, if that's the biggest drama I've got this morning on this morning's walk, I can handle that, guys. Come on, good girl. So yeah, we're now heading towards what will become Meldriff High Street. Now there really isn't a lot to see here. It is more of a village than Melbourne. There is, to my knowledge, one shop, one pub, a village hall. I'm sure someone will probably correct me, but I think I'm right saying that. I'm not aware of anything else. I think it's an old people's home as well. One important place there is here is where the dogs go when we're on holiday, which is a person's house, not a kennels, and they love going there. And that is something in less than 3 weeks we will be doing, because we're going away on the 2-week cruise. So yeah, cat just running over the back there, far away that Azra didn't see. So we're just going to do it right here, which then, as I say, will take us to the high street, and then it is a short blast to path that takes us back into Melbourne on the train path. I don't know where that guy's gone with the dog. He was following us. Probably bump into him again down here. No, my luck. Right, come on, Azra. People tuning to see you, not me. What I will say, guys, my back is absolutely soaked. And this is what I was going to say, continuing on about London yesterday. It was hot, there's no doubt about it. But I don't think I've ever found myself with a tissue wiping my forehead of sweat like I did yesterday. It was unbelievable. And you all know how much walking I do. You know, it's not about a fitness thing, it was just very, very hot. So the vlog has gone live for the friend experience from yesterday. Also attached to that is the first bit of the Buckingham Palace Green Park vlog. Also a little bit of Leicester Square. And then after the friend's experience, you've got the cable car as well. Oh, and there's the ride on the DLR as well. So lots to watch on there if you get a chance. And I think I actually did do a separate vlog for the cable car ride, which again is live on the channel now. It was supposed to have gone on later today, but I must have hit the wrong time today because it's gone on now. So we're going to cross here. Go, Azra. Well, listen. We do this walk, guys, probably I would say 3 or 4 times a year. So for her to remember where we're going, it's not bad. Am I going to fit through here? No, I'm not going to embarrass myself on camera. Here we go. So we get to the end of this path, and this will actually be Melbourne train station, where we go onto the bridge, cross over to get onto the new path, as I've mentioned. You'll see that in a moment. Edie, come on, good girl. Just so you know, guys, 1.26 miles. So that's probably coming up 2 miles I walked this morning with the other live I did. Okay, so I'll just show very quickly. This is Melbourne train station. Very oldie-worldy one, not a lot here. So that way is going towards Cambridge, and that way is going towards London. The line furthest away from us is the London bound line, and this one nearest to us clearly is the Cambridge bound line. Come on. Follow the yellow brick road, eh? Come on, let's go. A little more of a view as we go over the line. Nice little view from the top here of the new path. Now, one thing I was saying, and I think Julie was actually saying something to me about this, is when they've done this, they have made no provisions for disability people or people with buggies, unless you come all the way around over that side. And even then, you would struggle to get this side. I really think in today's world, the designers need a slap on the wrist, because they should have done something to help with disability and buggies, because that is just ludicrous in today's society. Another moan in the morning. So, now this is the new path. Now, I don't think... No, I'll tell you what, there is a vlog, if you can be bothered to look back on it, of when I did this when it first opened. And on that, there's a little snippet of James learning to ride a bike on the old path. And it was just a dirt track with no real lighting. And I can understand why people said, certainly in the winter, you know, it wasn't the safest. And I'm not even going to say for young girls, women, blokes, young boys, whatever, everyone, it's not safe for, is it? You know, so regardless of gender, age, whatever, it is not safe to be walking along a path like this with no lights. Now, you may say, well, there's not a lot of lights now, and you're right. There are lights at the end there, and there are lights at the other end. Now, they are pretty good, and I understand why they've done it, having done a little bit of research on this about the light pollution. But at least you've got a point A and point B that you can see. And I think that's the important thing to bear in mind about this. I haven't done it in the dark, to be honest with you, along here. So it would be interesting perhaps at some stage. I think I would have maybe come along here in... I can't remember, guys. I have done it when the lights have been on, but not fully dark. I can't remember. Anyway, there's a train there just pulling up. Walking backwards is not my strong point, but there is a train just pulling up at the station. Hopefully you can see that. Just going underneath the bridge. God, I'm doing this well, aren't I? I think I'm walking backwards in a straight line. Right, let's go back the other way. So if anyone is looking at me, they're thinking, what is that Wally doing? Thank you for the like. If you are new to the channel, do like and subscribe. It does mean a lot. We try and do sort of different walks at the weekends as much as possible. You know, you can only do so many walks in a sort of an area, but if you've joined me at 5:30, A, you must have been mad, and B, we did a live Royston walk round, and it's quite funny what I was coming across, like the placards on the walls, like what different places were and history and stuff like that. It's quite interesting, so if you get a chance, do have a watch. So that train that's just going now, as I was mentioning before, must be one of the slow ones, stopping at every station. And it would be about right, because I think it's the first and third trains that are the fast ones, and the second and fourth ones are not. So that would probably be about right, timing wise. But at some stage, the fast train that leaves Cambridge, I would suppose any time now, would catch it up. Now this down here is the pathway to get back to Meldriff that way, and that would bring you around to the train station on the other side. So I still don't agree with what they've done with the steps at the end there, but there are ways that you can get to the station on the other side. But even coming from this way, if you're going into London, it's not very easy getting up those steps, unless you've got two people with you or got some very helpful bystander. So if there is anyone from the parish council watching even, I think I mentioned it when I first did this walk ages and ages ago, that it wasn't, in my opinion, fit for purpose, and I'm a fully fit person, so, you know, you can say, well, it doesn't affect me, and that's right, it doesn't affect me, but it affects lots of other people, so it should be something that's spoken about. You know, some people don't have the ability to get their voice across. You know, my YouTube channel has been growing very nicely over the last sort of few months. There's lots of people now watching, and you know, if you can have a little bit of a voice about things, then I think it's good. You know, I'm not into all this political influencing stuff, far from it. My channel is a fun channel, as you probably hear. I take the mickey out of myself most of the time, but little things like that really annoy me, especially having a mother that struggles to walk as well. Little things like that would be so much more helpful for her and other people. Right, we're coming to the end of this walkway, where we will be coming back out into Melbourne, which you will see very shortly. With that walkway, we just came under where I was echoing away with the paint on either side. I should have mentioned that. That's not graffiti, that's actually been sanctioned by the parish council, local artists, I believe, maybe the schools as well, I can't remember actually, but they were actually asked to come and do murals on the walls, so that was quite a nice thing to do. So yeah, it's a lot nicer than it used to be, this path. Just looking back, can't really see now because it sort of wonks around, but yeah, that way. So we're now coming back out into Melbourne. I will keep going for a little while, and the reason I say that is because some of the bits we'll get to in about the next 5-10 minutes will be stuff that, if people have been following the channel, will have seen before. And it, you know, I like to try and keep it as fresh as possible, more at the weekends, not so much during the week. I think I've got my avid followers at the during the week. Having a look at the statistics, I'm getting a lot more returning viewers now as well. I was looking at last night, and that means a lot, because it means people are actually liking what I'm doing rather than just flicking through. So thank you for people that are doing that as well. Does mean a lot. Helps me know what people want, and that's something I've been learning since October. I mean, I've only been doing this since October, although the channel's been there. I've only been doing this since October, and I've learned very much what people want, what they don't want, times of the day to put stuff on, all that little stuff that you learn over time. But these lives that I've started doing over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks have by far been the most fun and helping the channel grow at a good rate. On the right hand side here, got the Sheen Mill. I have not been in there for ages and ages and ages, but it always comes across as busy. So they must be doing something right, mustn't they? Ducks down here, it's making a kerfuffle. Yeah, I believe they've been taken over by an Indian couple, I believe. But the menu, whilst it has got a bit of an Indian flavour to it, it's still obviously kept its roots as well. As I say, I've not been in there, so I can't really comment, but it is always busy whenever you come past. So, we are now coming into the village centre. Now, I'm sure I've done a live from this point, but I will keep going just so you see where we come out. So we'll be going for another 5 minutes or so, guys. Still time to like and subscribe. Dolphin Lane there on the right hand side, and that takes you right round, almost come out opposite the Dolphin pub, the old telephone exchange in there, and where you can see these red doors coming up, the old fire station. Again, some very narrow paths here, very villagey. What are we now? 1.79 miles, so that's probably just a little bit less than the normal walk that we do, but by the time we get home it'll be far more. And obviously we've already done the Royston Live as well, which I didn't clock. That's the old fire engine station doors. And here is the church. In fact, I think she has been in there because she went to a funeral, and I think that's where it was. I might be wrong on that, but she'll correct me. Okay, so we are now coming towards the village centre. We'll just have a quick little sit down when we get there to rest my weary legs. Watch the world go by for a few minutes. Azra's been very good this morning. Last few mornings during the week, she's pretty good, but she does have her moments where she doesn't want to do what you want her to do, which is essentially walk in a straight line. Not tough. Okay, so we've got the War Memorial here on the right hand side. 4-way traffic lights in the village. I'm going to sit down on this bench here, so we are going to still be going for a little bit. Come on. There we go. Right, should we sit down, Azra? Because I'm tired. Right, Azra, wait. Oh. So, yeah, the London thing yesterday, I just switched back. You can see the traffic, and they've got the co-op over there, and there's a Premier down the other way, which I showed you before anyway. So yeah, the London thing yesterday was a good success. The Friends thing wasn't as big as we thought it was going to be, but I'd still recommend it. You had all the sets there, i.e. Chandler and Joey's apartment, Rachel and Monica's apartment, and Central Perk. Had the wedding venue where Ross and Emily got married, or didn't get married. yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was smaller than I expected, but it was still pretty good. Enjoyed the cable car ride across the river. Again, that's all on the vlog that is out there now, so do feel free to watch that. But we were pretty knackered when we were coming back yesterday. I'll be glad to get home today, actually, just to have a sit down for a bit, to be honest with you. We're not going for breakfast this morning. We've got to go and do the weekly shop, which is going to be... Ugh. And then Liverpool playing later on telly, first pre-season match of the season. It's going to be a bit of a sad game, I think, with obviously what's gone on in the last week or so with Diego Jota. Been a Liverpool fan since 1989, and they've had some rotten luck after the season ended with what happened at the parade, and then obviously Diego Jota. So yeah, it's been pretty rotten, to be fair. But unfortunately, with all these things, the show does go on, doesn't it? So we've got the cycling club coming as well. They're just talking away. So yeah, it's a shame, but there you go. It's a shame in a way that, you know, the season has to sort of start so soon after, really. But I mean, the outpouring at the stadium at Anfield, and also at Wolves Stadium as well, and I'm sure in other places, his hometown and stuff like that, you know, the outpouring of emotion has been quite phenomenal. I was watching a video this morning of a fan, all right, knows these players on the pitch, but possibly didn't know him or never spoken, but she was sort of a middle to sort of oldish lady that came across, and she was absolutely sobbing. And Alison Becker, he was with his wife, and he went over to you know, comfort her, and I just thought it was such a nice thing to do. It really was. So yeah, fair dues to him for doing that. Right, we're going to start continuing on. Azra's got herself tangled up. Come on, we're going to go this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go this way, so we can see a little bit more of the village. I was going to come off, but I'm not now. We're going to go up here and come round. So this time in the morning, I think we're all right to cross over without waiting for the green man. Always remember your Green Cross code, kids, if any of you are old enough to remember that. I certainly am. Oh, there's the old chap with Ben up there. We'll keep going, otherwise she'll go nuts. Morning! You all good yourself? Good. Come out whilst it's cool. Yeah. We've got another dog walker coming the other way. Oh, she's going off. Oh, maybe they're not, I don't know. Oh, there's more. Lord have mercy, there's going to be noise in a minute, guys. Just prepare yourselves. There's 4 dogs coming towards us. I think we're going to come out the way. I am still here, guys, but it's going to be noisy in a minute. Morning! Not as bad as I thought, to be honest. Go on, Azra, let's go. So, the next road on the left-hand side is one we're going to be taking. And then we will keep going for a little bit along there. But then I really will end it, because you all know where we are then at that point. And I'm not going to go over bits we've been before. I did say this morning, this is going to be a good 3/4 of an hour to an hour. So for those that stuck with it, well done. Good stamina, I like that. People joining and leaving all the time, so hopefully people have liked and subscribed. That really does mean a lot to the channel. I understand people coming in and out, probably making their cup of tea or coffee, and then going on to do other stuff. So we are now turning left here, and the reason I think there's so many dog walkers out at this time of the morning, I mean, what is it now? 6:45, it is quite early for a Sunday, is as I was just saying to the old chap, it is so much cooler now than it was even this time yesterday. It really is. On the path, Azra, come on. Good girl. Right guys, so another couple of minutes and I think we'll be calling this a day. As I say, thanks to those that have stuck with it. Been great to have your company this morning again. And yeah, so if you can see in the distance over there, you can see the van, and then to the left of that van there is a bin. Now that is the road we go down normally in the morning on the normal morning walk, so that gives you a perspective of where we are. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Catch up soon.